My name's Jon Farber. I am an ICU educator. I've been at the bedside for greater than a decade. Holy moly, I feel so old. I've worked with a lot of pretty neat ICU equipment. I'm also an artist and I love making weird stuff. And this is a Swan-Ganz catheter. A Swan-Ganz catheter, I'm saying Swan-Ganz a lot, isn't it? Yeah, I am. The Swan-Ganz catheter is like a central line on steroids. It's going in the same place as the central line, usually in the right IJ, in the IJ. It's getting slid down the SVC. It slides into the right atrium, right there. And then on it, right here, oops, right there, there's a little balloon, kind of like a Foley catheter. Same concept. Wait, on a Foley catheter, there's a little balloon right here. And when we inflate it, after we put it in somebody's urethra, you get it, you slide it up into their bladder and you inflate the balloon. It sits right there because it's inflated. It sits right at the base of the bladder. You can't pull it out. I've seen a couple people pull it out. The Swan-Ganz catheter has a similar tip to where a balloon inflates. And that balloon inflates. Let's go to a different picture. I hope you like my swan, by the way. This is a good representation. When that balloon, let's get a new layer here. When that balloon inflates, you could think of it like a ship in a bottle, to where that balloon inflates, it's going to be carried by the currents of the heart, like a ship riding waves. This balloon gets inflated like a ship in a bottle. It's going to be carried away by the blood into the right atrium, then right ventricle. It's going to go into the pulmonary artery. If that balloon is still inflated, it is going to occlude that pulmonary artery. Then you're going to get something called the pulmonary artery wedge pressure. And that's pretty neat because you're essentially looking at the left side of the heart through the right side. This map is your heart, or the right side of your heart. This ship right here starts out in the SVC. It gets slid down into the right atrium. This is where a central line is collecting data for like CVP, a central venous pressure. The central line sits right about there. However, with the Swan, it can travel much further. It hangs out in the right atrium, and then when that balloon gets inflated, it slides through the tricuspid peninsula into the right ventricles. Because the pressure in the right ventricle is a little higher, you're going to see more turbulence if you can see that waveform above the patient's head. Right ventricle, and it gets slid up into the pulmonary artery. And again, we can do that pulmonary artery wedge pressure. And always, 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 always deflate your balloon. Don't leave it inflated, because what can that do? That can cause a pulmonary artery infarction. Always deflate your balloon and let that swan land right about there. And that's where swan chills. Old Swan-Gansy. This thing, this Swan-Ganz catheter, is like a shish kebab because it's got so many cool things on it. You've got multiple lumens on this Swan-Ganz to where you can infuse medications with them. You also have a thermistor. I love that word. Thermistor. Thermistor. It sounds like this 1880 kid, and his name is Thermistor. Thermistor, do your chores. Thermistor grabs data by collecting the temperature difference between the injectant, or the normal saline at room temperature. It infuses into the heart, and the thermistor collects that data, the difference between the temperature of the blood, 98.6, and the room air temperature. Somebody told me it's like throwing paint into a river, where it brightens up the blood flow to where you can see and grab a lot of data from that thermistor. Thermistor. I think the Swan is a good, it could be referenced like a ship in a bottle. Kind of went a little further and turned the Swan into a submarine because it's diving down. It's diving into the right atrium, crosses the tricuspid valve, goes into the right ventricle, and then up into the pulmonary artery. It just seems like the ship in the bottle thing is good, but this is much better because it's like a spy. It's like a swan spy, and it's looking at what the left side of the heart is doing secretly on the right side. Oh, and then we got this nurse, and she works on this USS Swan Spy. She's looking up the periscope. She's looking at what the left side of the heart is doing. You cut a Swan-Ganz catheter in half to look at it down the barrel, you would essentially see this thing is split 4 ways to where, again, you have multiple lumens and then the thermistor with the injectant. So you have 4 pathways going down the patient's heart. So I like to equate this, another analogy. Wow, we've got a ship in the bottle, USS Swan Spy, and then now a subway. And a subway is applicable too because it's like going down into the heart. And so you have 4 railways down into, or subway lines. I'm working on a field guide about Swan-Ganz catheters and arterial lines. I'm going to put those together. We're just going to get learnt. We're going to teach ourselves how Swan-Ganz catheters, how they work, and arterial lines. It's fun doing it with illustrations because it sticks better. I already have a field guide on my website called Central Command. It is all about central venous catheters, 54 pages, all illustrated. And I think it's a delightful book. I think it would be very applicable for new ICU nurses or nursing students. So you can find that in my bio on my website. I hope this helps you. I'm just going to keep drawing and trying to teach you stuff because the ICU it's pretty cool. It's got a lot of cool moving parts. It's fascinating to learn about how the human body works and how sometimes we can do extraordinary things to save other people's lives. Thanks for being here. And if you want to see another video about something, click that. See you next time.